Title: I found a hidden bracelet with my wife's lover's initials. At her birthday party, I gifted it back to her, in front of our entire family. It was a perfect evening in a cozy suburban neighborhood in Chicago, Illinois, where family and friends gathered to celebrate my wife Emily's 35th birthday. The house was filled with the warm glow of fairy lights and the comforting hum of laughter and clinking glasses. As Emily's devoted husband of 10 years, I had planned every detail meticulously to make the evening memorable. From the elegant floral centerpieces to the carefully curated playlist that included her favorite songs, everything spoke of my love and dedication. But as the time came to hand her the special gift I had prepared, the atmosphere changed. All eyes turned to Emily as she eagerly unwrapped the beautifully wrapped box. What lay inside wasn't just a gift, it was the key to a secret that would shatter the image of our perfect life. When she lifted the delicate gold bracelet from the box, engraved with initials that weren't mine, her face drained of color. The room fell into an icy silence, and a collective gasp rippled through the crowd. It was at this moment that my carefully laid plan shifted gears. I had spent weeks grappling with the truth after stumbling upon this bracelet while cleaning out Emily's car. My suspicions about her behavior, late-night work calls, sudden outings, and an air of secrecy had been simmering for months. Still, nothing could prepare me for the confirmation this bracelet brought. Standing there in front of our closest friends and family, I forced myself to remain calm. This was the moment I had been waiting for, the moment she would have to confront the truth she had been hiding. As Emily tried to compose herself, her hands trembling and her eyes darting around the room, I knew this party would be remembered not as a celebration, but as the night everything unraveled. The cracks in my marriage to Emily, which had been almost imperceptible before, started to grow wider in the months leading up to her birthday. At first, they were small things, quirks I brushed off as stress from her demanding job at a marketing firm in Los Angeles, California. She began spending more time on her phone, always quick to turn the screen away when I entered the room. Her late-night grocery runs and sudden absences, which she explained away as errands or catching up with friends, became more frequent. It wasn't just her behavior, it was the details that didn't add up. The new dresses and designer heels she never wore around me but seemed to carefully select for outings. The subtle but unmistakable change in her perfume, as if she was crafting a version of herself for someone else. These pieces gnawed at my mind, but I kept telling myself I was overthinking. We had been together for over a decade. Surely I was imagining things. Everything changed the day I stumbled upon the bracelet. While cleaning out Emily's car to make room for party supplies, I found it tucked away in the glove compartment. The delicate gold chain with a heart-shaped charm gleamed under the California sun. At first, I thought it might be a surprise gift for me or someone in our family. But as I turned it over, my heart stopped. Engraved on the charm were the initials AJ, initials that had no connection to me or anyone we knew. In that moment, denial turned to dread. I stared at the bracelet, replaying all the small, suspicious details in my head. Could Emily really be hiding something this big from me? My thoughts spiraled between anger and heartbreak, but I couldn't bring myself to confront her. Not yet. I needed to know more. Over the following days, I observed Emily more closely, hoping to catch a glimpse of the truth. Every smile she gave me, every kiss goodnight, felt like a test of her sincerity. My mind became a battlefield, torn between wanting to trust the woman I loved and the fear that my worst suspicions might be true. As her birthday party approached, I decided to bide my time. If she thought she had fooled me, she was wrong. I would get my answers, but on my terms. The bracelet's discovery pushed my unease into overdrive. The initials AJ felt like a puzzle piece begging to be placed. but the picture it formed was one I dreaded to see. As Emily went about her days, seemingly unbothered, I couldn't shake the feeling that her cool demeanor was a facade. I decided it was time to look deeper into the cracks that had started to form in our life together in Los Angeles. At first, I tried to keep things subtle. Over dinner one evening, I casually brought up her increasingly busy schedule. "Work must be exhausting lately," I said, gauging her reaction. Emily smiled, but her response was clipped. "It's just the usual chaos," she said, avoiding my gaze and quickly changing the topic to her birthday plans. Her evasiveness confirmed what I already suspected. There was more going on than she wanted me to know. Determined to uncover the truth, I took a step I never thought I would, checking her phone while she slept. My hands trembled as I unlocked it, the faint glow of the screen casting shadows across our bedroom. Most of her messages seemed innocuous at first, but then I found a thread buried under the name AJ. My heart raced as I scrolled through the exchanges. They were careful but undeniably intimate, filled with inside jokes, late-night plans, and terms of endearment that didn't belong in a conversation with a friend. As my suspicions deepened, I began watching Emily's movements more closely. One afternoon, I noticed she left the house under the guise of meeting a colleague for lunch. Curious, I followed her car through the crowded streets of Los Angeles. She drove to a quiet cafe in Santa Monica, where she met someone I instantly recognized. There, sitting across from her with a casual confidence, was Adam Johnson, a trusted family friend and someone I had known for years. Adam had been a frequent presence in our lives, attending barbecues, offering advice on home renovations, and even helping Emily organize her work events. The realization that he was a J hit me like a freight train. This wasn't just an affair, it was a betrayal that ran deeper than I could have imagined. In that moment, watching them laugh over coffee as if they didn't have a care in the world, my anger solidified into resolve. The party was only days away, and I now had the confirmation I needed. This wasn't just about confronting Emily. It was about exposing the truth in a way she couldn't deny. Sitting alone in the dim light of my study, the truth about Emily and Adam burned in my mind like a relentless storm. I could have confronted her immediately, demanded answers, or screamed accusations, but something held me back. Confrontation behind closed doors wouldn't do justice to the depth of betrayal I felt. No, this truth needed to be revealed in a way Emily couldn't deny or twist, where she would face the consequences of her actions openly. The idea came to me almost instinctively. Her upcoming birthday party, a grand celebration she'd been planning for weeks, was the perfect setting. Hosted at an upscale event space in Beverly Hills. The guest list included family, friends, and even professional acquaintances. It was a glittering stage, and I knew exactly how to make her lies come crashing down in front of everyone. I decided her gift would be the key. The bracelet engraved with Adam's initials, the very symbol of her secret, would become the centerpiece of her birthday. I carefully wrapped it in an elegant velvet box, complete with gold ribbon, ensuring it looked like a thoughtful and intimate gesture from a devoted husband. This wasn't a decision I made lightly. As I prepared for the party, doubt gnawed at me. Was this the right thing to do? Was exposing her in front of everyone too cruel? But every time those questions surfaced, the image of her and Adam at that cafe, laughing, sharing stolen moments, flashed in my mind. They had made a mockery of my love, my trust, and the life we'd built together. At the same time, I worked hard to ensure that my demeanor didn't raise suspicion. I played the role of the supportive husband, helping Emily with final party preparations and even adding touches to the event that I knew she'd appreciate. I needed her to believe everything was normal, that she was still in control. The night before the party, I looked at the wrapped gift one final time. It represented more than a birthday present. It was a reckoning. I knew the risks of this plan, The emotional fallout, the judgment of those present, and the exposure of our private lives. But as much as it was about exposing Emily's betrayal, it was also about reclaiming my dignity. The stage was set, the guests were invited, and the gift was ready. All that remained was to wait for the moment when the truth would finally come to light. The birthday party was in full swing, with laughter and lively conversations filling the opulent ballroom of the Ache Fairmont Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles. The chandeliers glittered like stars, and the atmosphere radiated with warmth and celebration. Emily, dressed in an elegant sapphire gown, was the picture of grace and charm, making rounds to greet the guests. I stayed in the background, holding the carefully wrapped box that would soon change everything. As the evening reached its peak, it was time for the birthday toast. I stepped forward, my heart pounding but my face calm, and took the microphone. All eyes turned to me, and the room fell silent. Tonight is about celebrating Emily, the love of my life, I began, my voice steady, masking the storm within. I've prepared a special gift for this special occasion, something truly personal and meaningful. The anticipation in the room was palpable as I handed her the velvet box. Emily's radiant smile faltered for a moment, a flicker of unease crossing her face as she opened the gift. The moment she saw the bracelet, her expression froze, her eyes wide with shock, her lips parting in a gasp. The gold bracelet gleamed under the lights, the engraved initials, a W, undeniable proof of her betrayal. A murmur rippled through the crowd, confusion giving way to realization. Emily's face turned pale, her usual composure unraveling. She stammered, searching for words, but guilt and panic betrayed her before she could even speak. And then, as if on cue, Adam Walker, the man whose initials were etched on the bracelet, shifted uncomfortably among the guests. His reaction sealed the truth. I took a deep breath, the pain in my chest sharpening as I faced the crowd. "Emily," I said, my voice steady but laced with emotion, "I wanted everyone here tonight to see the woman I thought I knew, the woman I loved. This bracelet was a reminder of a bond that I never thought existed, between you and someone else. I just hope it was worth the price of our marriage." The room was heavy with silence, save for the occasional gasp or whispered comment. Emily's eyes welled up with tears, but she remained frozen, unable to defend herself. The tension in the air was suffocating as I continued. "I trusted you. I gave you everything. And tonight, I gave you one last thing, your truth, laid bare for all to see." The guests were visibly stunned, some awkwardly avoiding eye contact, while others stared at Emily and Adam, trying to process what had just unfolded. I stepped away from the center of the room, setting the microphone down with finality. The weight of my speech lingered in the air, leaving behind an unforgettable imprint of betrayal and heartbreak. As the shocking reveal reverberated through the room, the once celebratory atmosphere of the party at the Fairmont Century Plaza Hotel transformed into a tense and awkward silence. Family members and friends exchanged uneasy glances, unsure whether to comfort Emily, confront Adam, or simply leave. The weight of the exposed betrayal had turned the festive gathering into a spectacle of raw emotions. Emily, visibly shaken, tried to muster a response, but her words faltered. She glanced at Adam, who stood frozen, avoiding her gaze. The tension between them confirmed the affair more strongly than any verbal admission could have. Guests began whispering amongst themselves, piecing together the implications of the initials on the bracelet and the meaning behind my speech. I stood to the side, observing the fallout of my actions. The hurt was still fresh, but there was also a strange sense of vindication. For so long, I had carried the burden of suspicion and heartbreak alone. Now it was no longer my secret to bear. I watched as Emily's carefully curated image unraveled before her closest friends and family. Some of the guests, like Emily's mother, tried to mediate, their faces pale with embarrassment. Others quietly slipped away, unwilling to witness any further drama. Adam's wife, who had been standing near the dessert table, finally spoke up, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and pain. "How could you?" she demanded, addressing Adam in front of everyone. Her words added another layer of tension to the scene, drawing attention away from Emily and onto Adam. As the chaos unfolded, I felt a mix of relief and sorrow. This wasn't the life I had envisioned, but the truth was now out in the open. The betrayal was no longer hidden, and Emily and Adam had to face the consequences of their actions, not just with me, but with everyone whose trust they had broken. The fallout marked the beginning of the end for our relationship. The family bonds, friendships, and reputations that had been damaged would take time, if not a lifetime, to heal. And while the pain of betrayal lingered, I knew this moment was necessary. It was the first step toward finding closure and reclaiming my life after the heartbreak.